that Travis side of the courtroom is absolutely packed. Apparently, none of those people wanting to go sit on the other side of the courtroom. There's about 5 rows of Travis's family behind the media in that courtroom. The courtroom is full to overflowing. They're still trying to seat people in there so they can hear the verdict themselves. We are all here at the Phoenix courthouse waiting for the verdict. Jody's father is not in the courtroom. I'm hearing this as I'm reporting it to you. Liz, what else are you hearing from the courtroom? I'll relay it to the viewers right now. Everyone, you're seeing a scene on the screen right now of all the people outside the courtroom, all the people outside the courthouse. Liz, what else can you tell me inside the courtroom? Jody and the attorneys are not, Jodi Arias and her defense team, not yet in the courtroom. They're going to come in at the very last minute. Straight out to Vinnie Politan. Vinnie, what do you think is the holdup?
I'm not sure. You know, and it was a little puzzling hearing from courtroom personnel. They weren't expecting all these people to show up. I mean, we clearly expected this to happen, and it's happening. Inside the courtroom, Nancy, Jody's grandmother, mother, and aunt among 2 rows of family. There's some friends that we've never seen before. And Jodi Arias' father, who we saw that one time, Nancy, not here today for his daughter. We know he has medical issues. But I think this, you know, maybe they just got a little surprised that this many people were going to show up for this verdict, and it was going to be this type of scene. So perhaps they're just trying to get a handle on security on what's going to happen.
And Dr. Drew is with us. Dr. Drew, at major times in the trial, critical junctures in the trial, we see Arias sick out with a migraine or whatever it is that she claims. I imagine right now they are trying to get Arias to collect herself to go into the courtroom.
Yeah, I'm sure so. It took quite a bit to get Anne Boleyn to her verdict as well, I've got to say. But Nancy, I want to comment on another thing. You've used the word mob at least 4 times, and that is the lesser angels of our nature. You've said this multiple times, that it is really about the court proceedings, not about the mob mentality. What the mob wants does not matter here. You know, in the 1830s, Alexis de Tocqueville came to our country and observed democracy in America, and he was amazed by our habits of democracy. And today, as you have pointed out so poetically, these things are being played out in the manner they are meant to be played out. It is up to our system, not up to the mob that's accumulated outside. Whatever the mob feels does not matter, and is in fact this system that's in place to prevent and to buffer against these, as to paraphrase Abraham Lincoln a little bit, the lesser angels of our nature.
I would like to point out that many of us believed Anne Boleyn was innocent. So I'm not sure if I want to parallel her to Jodi Arias. Everybody, I'm hearing in my ear right now, the defense attorneys are in. Nurmi is in. Wilmot is in. Is that correct, Liz? Nurmi and Wilmot in the courtroom. No Arias as of yet. Out to you, Natisha Lance. What are you seeing?
Nancy, the floor has cleared pretty much. All those members of the public who are asked to leave have now exited the 5th floor. There are still probably about 3 marshals that are up here, some deputies. The door continues to open and close as more people from court administrators go in and out to make sure that every seat is full. But other than that, the floor is pretty quiet again. It appears as if court is going to begin soon.
What can you see regarding inside the courtroom? I understand that Travis Alexander's side of the courtroom is totally packed. What if anything, can you see through the windows in that door?
I can only get a glimpse when they open the second set of doors. I can't see Travis Alexander's family. I did see Jennifer Wilmot, and I did see Juan Martinez, and it appeared as if I saw the back of Detective Flores' head, but I can't see either family member that is sitting on either side of the courtroom. So I'm only getting a little sliver of what's happening inside. I still have not seen the judge, and I haven't seen any indication of Jodi Arias either.
It's my understanding that Detective Flores, his wife, and children have all come into the courtroom. What do you know, Natisha?
I did see Detective Flores come in initially, and he was with his wife and children as well. They came in. They were probably one of the first people to arrive. They came before Travis Alexander's family, before Juan Martinez as well. So they are also in the courtroom. As far as any other family members who have been here for either side, whether the prosecution or the defense, I know that Juan Martinez's brother has been in the courtroom several times. However, I did not see him go into the courtroom today.
I understand that Arias's grandmother is sitting in a wheelchair clutching tissue in her right hand. And whether we believe Arias is guilty of murder one or not guilty, or somewhere in between, you know her family has got to be devastated. Her grandmother in the courtroom right now, clutching tissue, waiting, still no sign of Arias. To me, that's an indicator. What about it? Out to you, Dwayne Case. Everybody's there but Arias. What does that mean?
Well, that means that, I think they're waiting to the last minute to bring her in, before she sits down and the jury comes in. But you don't know, she may be having health problems. We just don't know right now because we can't see her.
A health problem?
We don't know why she's not there, Nancy. She's
What do
had
you
them
mean a
before.
health
She's had
problem?
the migraine. She's had health problems. She may have.
You know,
collapsed.
all
We
I
don't
know is she's healthy enough to pick up a knife. That's what I know. So I know she's at least that healthy. So, I don't want to hear any more about her migraines or her cold or her sniffles, all right? It's time for the verdict. There you're seeing inside the courtroom, everyone just below that seal is all assembled. The lawyers are assembled. The prosecution, the defense. Both sides packed. All the media in the courtroom. The only person missing we've got to have before the jury comes in is Jodi Arias. Out to you, Monica Lindstrom, practicing attorney here in Phoenix. Weigh in, Monica.
Well, I think it's fascinating that she's not in there yet. Like Dwayne said, we don't know why. But here's something to think about. I know that nobody likes Jodi right now, but can you imagine how awful and horrible she must feel knowing that any moment that jury might be handing a first-degree murder conviction? It's overwhelming to even try to think what she must be thinking, and even worse than that, her family sitting there thinking about
Hold
what's
on,
going
Monica.
through their
I am
heads.
hearing in my ear right now that there are 3 armed deputies waiting at the door. Let's go in the courtroom. We are waiting for the jury to announce their verdict. Arias in the courtroom. 3 armed guards have been assigned to her seat alone. There you see a packed courtroom. Let's listen.
Please stand for the jury.
Please be seated. The record will show the presence of the jury, the defendant, and all counsel. Ladies and gentlemen, I understand you have reached a verdict. The verdict form has been handed to the bailiff. Please come forward. The clerk will read and record the verdict.
The State of Arizona versus Jodi Ann Arias, verdict, count 1. We, the jury, duly impaneled and sworn, in the above entitled action, upon our oaths, do find the defendant as to count 1, first-degree murder, guilty. 5 jurors find premeditated, 0 find felony murder, 7 find both premeditated and felony. Signed, foreperson. Is this your true verdict, so say you want it all?
Ladies and gentlemen, the clerk is now going to ask each of you a question. Please answer yes or no.
Juror number 1, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 2, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 3, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 4, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 6, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 7, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 9, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 12, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 13, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 14, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 16, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 18, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the next phase of the trial will begin tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Please be here at 12:45. Between now and then, the admonition continues to apply. Do not speak about this case. Do not view any media about this case. Are there any questions? You are excused.
Please stand for the jury.
Counsel, please approach.
There is a verdict. Guilty on murder 1. 5 voted for premeditated murder. 7 both premeditated and felony murder. This same seated jury is now going into aggravation phase. There you can see Travis Alexander's family crying tears of joy and embracing each other. That justice has been rendered in a court of law. Arias sitting stoically, her nose reddened, her eyes brimming as that verdict is read. She watched as the jurors were polled, each one asking, as we told you, is this your verdict? There you see the family of Travis Alexander breaking down in tears that this ordeal is nearly over. In that courtroom, Martinez there standing in front of the family, Detective Flores with his children and his wife with him, supporting him. Also in that courtroom. It's all set to start up again tomorrow morning with the same 12 jurors, which benefits the state. Everyone, a verdict of murder 1 guilty has been rendered by this Arizona jury. And what a dichotomy. I could hear in my ear the quietness of the courtroom as the verdict was read. And then right behind me, the cheers of a crowd that has amassed in support of Travis Alexander and in support of our system, cheering as the verdict was announced. Repeat, guilty of murder 1 in the death, the slaughter of unarmed Travis Alexander. Straight out to Jane Velez. Jane, you're in front of the courthouse. What's happening?
Well, the mood here, cheers erupted as soon as the word came down. And Melanie, you are a Mormon, and you were leading the cheers. Justice for Travis. Your reaction to the guilty verdict? Elated.
one word, elated. I am so thankful that the jury was able to take this deliberation seriously. I figured they were out enough time to go over all the evidence, that they really listened to, the testimony, looked over all the evidence. I feel they were out enough time to do that. And I am grateful that they returned with the verdict of murder one. I feel like Jodi absolutely deserves that.
Do most of the folks here agree with this?
Oh, yes. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.
What did you say, ma'am?
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.
A lot of people here have said they've been praying for this verdict. Sean Alexander, a dear friend of the victim, Travis Alexander, there are tears in your eyes. Why?
Well, we finally got justice. It's been 5 years coming, so I'm surprised I got emotional. I didn't expect it, so it's amazing. My heart goes out to the family and everybody else. And I'm so happy they're finally going to get some peace from this.
As you ponder this, and you know the family, and you know all the people who loved Travis, who were mentored by Travis, what do you think it does to them emotionally? Does it in any way erase some of the pain?
Well, yeah, obviously. You're going to feel a little bit better, obviously, knowing that, even though he's dead and he won't be here, I hope that we did enough to explain who he was, and maybe that'll live on. Maybe people will realize who he really was versus the monster that she drew him out to be. So it'll be nice to finally get some justice with that. I know I feel a little bit more peace, so it'll be nice. I'm sure that they feel it too.
I know you hit the nail on the head, is that so many people here were so offended by the defense, Nancy, and that is why, one of the many reasons why they cheered this conviction. Back to you.
With me outside the courthouse is Jane Velez Mitchell, and in stark contrast to the crowd outside the courthouse cheering at the announcement of the verdict, inside the courtroom it was quiet, completely quiet as that verdict was read. Jodi Arias, dressed in black, in control of her emotions. Her nose did turn red, her eyes brimmed. She looked at the jury one by one as if she were silently imploring them to back down from that verdict when each juror was polled. Take a listen to what just went down in an Arizona courtroom.
The State of Arizona versus Jodi Ann Arias, verdict, count 1. We, the jury, duly impaneled and sworn, in the above entitled action, upon our oaths, do find the defendant as to count 1, first-degree murder, guilty. 5 jurors find premeditated, 0 find felony murder, 7 find both premeditated and felony. Signed, foreperson.
And you could hear in that courtroom one single wail. I don't know if it was relief or sorrow. I don't know where it came from, but one person cried out audibly when murder 1 was announced, and it took them a minute to get there. They started reading. They were reading in the aforementioned case, and they gave the indictment number in State versus Jodi Ann Arias. 5 jurors voted for premeditated murder. 7 voted for both premeditated and felony murder. But bottom line, it means we are going to the next phase. There is a true verdict. There is a verdict handed down by a jury of 12. What does it mean, the split amongst the jurors? Out to Matt Zarrell, who's carefully, along with the rest of us, studied the law. What does it mean? 5 premeditated, 7 premeditated and felony.
Well, what Martinez said in his closing argument was that if you do not believe the premeditation, the pre-planning that Arias went into going to Travis's house, that the theft of the gun and using the gun to kill Travis, that was felony murder in and of itself. And what's interesting, Nancy, is that in the defense wanting to plead guilty to murder 2, they said it would require a feat of mental gymnastics to get the felony murder conviction. Obviously, they were wrong.
The judge also admonished the jury, or let me say instructed the jury, not to have anything to do with the media, to not comment on the case, that they would be required to be back tomorrow morning. So now we have the answer to our earlier question, what happens next? We're going straight into aggravation now. On the indictment handed down by an Arizona grand jury, it was for murder 1, but the state pleaded and other papers their grounds for seeking the death penalty. In the state of Arizona and every other state that has a death penalty, there are usually between 5 and 10 aggravating factors. If one or more of those are met, then the jury can consider the death penalty. In this case, one factor was pled by the state, and that is cruel and depraved manner of death. That is what the jury will next consider. It is an advantage to the state that they are going forward with the same jury, because a new jury would not be privy to the months of testimony and evidence that this jury knows like the back of their hand. So, Vinny, what do you expect starting tomorrow morning, 0900?
I expect Juan Martinez back to work. This jury knows they've got to get back to work. And, Jane, I think a good sign for the prosecution here is that not only did he sell premeditation, but he also sold a felony murder to more than half that jury as well. So the bottom line here is I think it's advantage Juan Martinez. This jury believed his theory, believed what he was telling them, what the evidence was telling this jury. So now this jury has to decide whether or not the way Travis Alexander died involved cruelty. Nancy, I mean, they've seen the pictures, haven't they? They've seen the number of stab wounds. They've seen Travis Alexander almost decapitated by this woman, shot in the head after all of that takes place. Stab wounds in the back, Nancy. And I think Juan Martinez is going to focus on that and focus again in on what happened inside that bathroom in those few minutes where she attacked and murdered. And we can say that today, Nancy. We can say that word, when she murdered Travis Alexander.
Liz, let me know when I get Jane and Beth and Natisha back. They have been in the courtroom watching every single move. I've got Natisha with me right now. Natisha, Lance, tell me what you're observing.
Well, Nancy, the first two to come out of the courtroom was Juan Martinez and Detective Flores. Juan Martinez gave a little nod to me and a little grin, and there were some spectators who were able to make it back up to the 5th floor. They had tears in their eyes, and they were telling him congratulations. He got on the elevator, he went up the elevator, and he allowed those members of the public to get onto the elevator with him and go wherever he was going to a higher floor than what we were on. After that, we saw the jurors who were escorted out of the courtroom. They got onto 2 separate elevators, going one on either side of the elevator bank. Don't know exactly where they were going, but they were escorted by one deputy for each side that was walking out. Nancy, they looked straight ahead. They did not look to their left or to their right. They looked as if they were very contrite with their decision that they made today. After that, Nancy, we saw members of the media who came out of the courtroom. When the doors opened, I was able to see Jodi Arias' mother talking to Jennifer Wilmot. It looked as if she was wiping tears from her eyes. After members of the media came out, then Jodi Arias' family came out. They looked to be extremely sad and distraught over the verdict that was rendered today. They were directed to another elevator. Everyone was directed not to try to ask them questions, and they got onto the elevator and they went down. Now, the grandmother, who you said before, was in a wheelchair. She just kept pointing forward and saying, we're going this way, we're going this way. It did not appear as if she wanted to speak to anybody. There's still a few members of the public who are up here, friends of the Alexander family. They are hugging. There are tears. They look to be relieved by the decision that was rendered today. And while this was going on in the courtroom, Nancy, there was about a handful of media persons who were out here. They were on their computers listening to the verdict. And as there were gasps in the courtroom, there were also some gasps that were outside the courtroom.
I think I see some of Travis's family members literally being mobbed outside the courtroom, which is one of the reasons that the jury is safely protected from all of this with armed guards. I still have a shot. I can still see in the courtroom. It hasn't cleared out. People are still sitting in there as if they're like stunned. They're either exhausted, they're stunned. They know it's not over yet. It's not all over yet with this verdict. You're seeing a shot of Arias just moments ago as the verdict was read. Liz, let's play that verdict again. For those of you just joining us, it's taken months to reach the culmination that we are reporting today. A verdict has been handed down in the Jodi Arias Murder 1 trial. Let's hear it.
The State of Arizona versus Jodi Arias, verdict, count 1. We, the jury, duly impaneled and sworn, in the above entitled action, upon our oaths, do find the defendant as to count 1, first-degree murder, guilty. 5 jurors find premeditated, 0 find felony murder, 7 find both premeditated and felony. Signed, foreperson. Juror number 1, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 2, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 3, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 4, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 6, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 7, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 9, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 12, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 13, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 14, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 16, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 18, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
And the jury has spoken. We know right now that 5 of those jurors voted for murder 1, premeditated murder. 7 of them voted for premeditated and felony murder. Regardless of that split, it's all murder 1, which means this case now moves into aggravation phase. We understand Travis's family is now trying to make their way out of the courtroom. As you can see, there are literally hundreds of people that are on all sides of the courthouse, out in the streets, on every surface, waiting for Travis's family to emerge from the courthouse. There is a little room right beside the courtroom where typically the victim's family sits. Back to you, Natisha. What's happening inside the courthouse? We're waiting for all of the players to come out. I think I've got Natisha, guys. She is parked right outside the courtroom doors. Let me know when Natisha comes back into play. Okay, out to Jane Velez Mitchell. Jane?
Yeah. I am here with the police chief of the city of Mesa, Arizona. Sir, what was it like to be in that courtroom and hear that verdict?
You know, it was satisfying. It was satisfying for the family. I think it was satisfying for the investigators and the people who worked the case so hard for such a long period of time.
People don't think often of the enormous amounts of hours Detective Flores, the prosecutor, all the law enforcement, the crime scene analysts, all of those people put their sweat into this case. Is this a tribute to their work?
Well, it is. If you look at high-profile cases across the country, how they occur, the police work always comes into question. Not in this case. The expertise of everybody involved was exemplary. The police work, the lab work, the support efforts never came into question in this trial. It wasn't about the policing. It was about the rest of the things that went on. And as the chief, to see the work, the men and women that you represent, it's very, very satisfying.
And I have to say thank you, sir. Thank you, Chief. I have to introduce Nancy. Alicia Schabel, you were a dear friend of Travis Alexander. You lived with him, you roomed with him as a friend, not as a romantic partner. What is in your heart right now?
Oh, lots of emotion, relief, but still nothing, no matter the, it's not going to bring Travis back. He was such a light to this world, and it's important that we forgive Jodi. Even, though what she did, it's important that we still forgive her so she doesn't have that power to destroy our lives.
Why do you say that? That is a very interesting thing to say at this juncture. We've heard people chanting here, justice for Travis, and there's a lot of animosity, to put it mildly, toward this defendant now convicted. Why do you speak of forgiveness?
Well, like it's said that if you don't forgive, it's much like taking poison, expecting the other person to die. And if we don't forgive Jodi, it allows that hatred and venom inside our own lives. And I refuse to give that woman power into my life. She took one of my best friends. I love you, Travis. I'm wearing hearts in blue for you today.
What do you think Travis would say if he were able to view this incredible scene, this enormous scene, knowing him as you do?
I don't know what he would say. He was larger than life, and this is, you know, not by chance that so many people are here to support him.
Thank you so very much. So eloquent and so emotional, Nancy.
Everyone, the family is making their way out of the courthouse. Dave Hall was the person being thronged by the press. He's on his way here right now. He also will be taking your calls. Everyone, a jury verdict has been handed down in the Jodi Arias Murder 1 trial. She has been found guilty on Murder 1. After 3 days of jury deliberations, everyone on pins and needles hoping for a true verdict. Everyone lifting up their prayers and their thoughts in their own way. Finally, the jury speaks. Murder 1. Still, the crowd is not dispersing outside of the courthouse. Tomorrow morning, according to the judge, 0900, we move into aggravation phase. Under the law, that is the next phase in a death penalty case. It is by no way guaranteed that a death penalty will be handed down. For all we know, that could have been a deal made back in the jury room. A Murder 1 conviction in exchange for life without parole or life behind bars. We don't know what went down. What we know right now, there's a Murder 1 conviction, and we start aggravation phase first thing in the morning. I want to go back to our Arizona lawyers right now as we wait for the friends and family of Travis Alexander to make their way here. Out to Monica Lindstrom. Monica, tomorrow is aggravation. When will we hear mitigation? And what, if anything, could possibly mitigate Jodi Arias' guilt?
Well, tomorrow the state will start presenting all the reasons why this was cruel, heinous, depraved, and try to convince the jury that they should give her death. Now, if they find beyond a reasonable doubt that the state has proven those factors, then we'll move into the mitigation phase. When you look at the Arizona statutes, there are roughly about 25 ways that you can get an aggravating factor or factors that are aggravating. But when you look at the statutes for the mitigation part, there aren't a whole lot actually written out. But essentially, Nancy, anything goes. Anything the defense can bring in to try to mitigate it, from she's pretty, she was nice when she was in kindergarten, she's got this friend or that friend, or she was a Girl Scout, or anything at all, they will try to bring in to convince that jury that they should not put her to death.
Out to you, Alex Sanchez. What do you expect in aggravation?
I think tomorrow is going to be a very short proceedings, because Juan Martinez can come in and say, listen, we've already shown you all the evidence that we're going to show. We don't have anything additional to show you, so we want to incorporate in this proceedings right now everything that occurred at trial. And it's he'll make a short statement that it's very obvious, at least to him, that, you know, that he's established cruel behavior by the defendant in this case, and then they'll move on to the next stage.
I find it very difficult to believe that Martinez is going to come in tomorrow morning and say, hey, all that stuff I told you the last 5 months, yeah, ditto. I don't see it. Let's see what's happening in front of the courthouse. What is that, Liz? Let's go out to Jane.
As well as Detective Steve Flores. The siblings appreciate the outpouring of support they have received from the public. My firm will be filing a civil wrongful death suit on behalf of the siblings. The siblings ask for their privacy. They will not be making any further statements or participating in any interviews until the sentencing phase is complete. And that's probably going to be at least a couple of weeks.
Sir, can we ask you to repeat that statement, sir? We really would like you to do that if we can. Hold on a second.
Yes.
What? You don't have a shot? Well, wait a second. Let's get a shot.
Is everybody in here?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. If you could just, yeah, thank you very much.
Yes, my name is Jay Beckstead, and I'm with the law firm of Busey, Hernacki, and Beckstead. J-A-Y-B-E-C-K-S-T-E-A-D.
They're not.
We represent the Travis Alexander surviving siblings, including Samantha, Gary, Dennis, Tanisha, Hillary, Stephen, and Allie. They are in agreement with the jury's verdict of guilt. They would like to thank Deputy County Attorney Juan Martinez and Detective Steve Flores for their hard work and professionalism in this case. They appreciate the outpouring of support they've received from the public. My firm will be filing a civil wrongful death suit against the defendant in the near future. The siblings ask that their privacy please be respected, and they will not be making any further statements or participating in any interviews until the sentencing phase is complete. That probably will be at least 2 weeks.
What can you tell us about the wrongful death
I'm sorry, I'm not going to make any statements beyond this.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're very welcome. Certainly.
Thank you very much. Sir, do you have any more copies that I can have?
I have a very few copies.
Let's take one quick copy, if I may. Thank you. Wow. You heard it there. This, if you missed it, Travis Alexander's surviving brothers and sisters, Samantha Alexander, Gary Alexander, Dennis Greg Alexander, Tanisha Soros.
You were hearing Jay Beckstead, the attorney that is going to represent Travis Alexander's family in a civil suit. Now joining me is Jane, also with us, Beth, and Dave Hall. I want to go to Dave Hall first, and I want to hear your reaction to what just went down in that court of law.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, just count.
Thank you for having me on.
Liz, let me know when you get Dave Hall.
Excited.
Hold on. Can you hear him? I'm trying to get an audio check.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Go ahead, sir.
Nancy, can you hear me? We are just so excited for this verdict. Thank you to the jury in Arizona for coming back with this guilty murder one conviction. It's been 5 long years that we've waited for this. Miss Arias has stalled over and over and over, trying to avoid this day, and it just feels so good.
When
I'm just so
Arias
happy
came
for Travis's
into that
family.
courtroom, I know you are. I want to hear your emotions as the whole thing played out, because we're on the outside looking in. I want to hear the way it happened, how it happened, what you felt, what you saw when all of this unfolded in a court of law, Dave Hall.
Well, Miss Arias was brought into the courtroom in a black suit, and she took her place. The judge was brought in, and then the jury was brought in, and it went very quickly. It seemed like it was postponed quite a while. We were sitting there for a long time. We were all instructed to turn off our phones so there would be no noises, no distractions. They instructed us numerous times, no reaction, no noise, no body language. But there's an uncontrollable response when you hear that verdict. As much as you want to control your emotions, 5 years of having to deal with this and sitting through that evidence and waiting for this day, it's almost impossible to not have some form of just relief that audibly comes out.
When you heard guilty announced, what went through your mind? What went through your body?
It's not jubilation, but it's just so overwhelmingly relief. It's like this poor family for 5 years has had to deal with this, seeing these pictures and hearing these horrible things said about such an amazing person. And to finally have the truth be vindicated, that the animal in this case is Jody, to finally get to this point where the world can know the true Travis and the true Jodi Arias, it felt overwhelmingly powerful to us.
You know what, everyone? Dave Hall, a very, very dear friend of Travis's and the family. They've all sat by as Travis has been dragged through the mud and accused of the worst sorts of things. They stood by silently, but today, in the last minutes, we have seen justice unfold. Guilty on murder one.
Women are better dieters than men.
I'm the laziest, absolute worst dieter on the planet.
Women have more control. You know, they weigh things out.
Counting, weighing, measuring, no, and no.
Summer's right around the corner, so get the body you want right now and save up to 50%.
Guys, just call Nutrisystem.
I just called Nutrisystem.
Because it works.
Because it's easy.
Get 4 perfectly portioned meals a day. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, and dessert for less than $11 a day.
I pick my meals, they show up at the door, I eat them, simple as that.
Just open the box, eat the food, and lose the weight.
I lost 32 pounds on Nutrisystem. Now try that on for size.
I lost 30 pounds on Nutrisystem. Try this on for size.
You win.
Don't we always?
Call now and save up to 50%. Plus, shipping is free.
Don't wait. Call now.
When you look in the mirror, is there someone else looking back at you, wrinkled with frown lines and sagging skin? It doesn't have to be that way.
So many friends don't know really what I did. They just know I look great.
I'm just amazed. It's great. I couldn't be happier. It feels great to be 72. Lifestyle Lift, a breakthrough medical process that really does turn back the hands of time.
Call right now to receive your free information kit. Give yourself the gift of a lifestyle lift. Call right now.
The sun used to make our outdoor deck and patio space so hot and uncomfortable, we couldn't use it.
But then we discovered the Sunsetter retractable awning. Our Sunsetter retractable awning opens and closes in just 60 seconds. It keeps our patio about 20 degrees cooler.
It provides instant shade and instant protection from the sun's harmful rays.
And our Sunsetter costs under $700.
But now you can get your Sunsetter for as little as $499 when you call now to get this special $200 discount certificate and free awning idea kit.
We love our Sunsetter retractable awning, and you're going to love yours too.
Sunsetter awnings are assembled in America and guaranteed to last for years. So call now to get this free awning idea kit with DVD, plus your $200 Sunsetter discount certificate.
But this is a limited time offer.
Call now.
Call now for your free awning idea kit with DVD and $200 discount certificate. There's no obligation.
Call 1-800-390-1987.
There is a verdict in the trial against Jodi Arias, murder one. The jury has just announced it in a court of law. Let's listen.
The State of Arizona versus Jodi Ann Arias, verdict, count 1. We, the jury, duly impaneled and sworn, in the above entitled action, upon our oaths, do find the defendant as to count 1, first-degree murder, guilty. 5 jurors find premeditated, 0 find felony murder, 7 find both premeditated and felony. Signed, foreperson. Juror number 1, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 2, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 3, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 4, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 6, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 7, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 9, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 12, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 13, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 14, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 16, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 18, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
And what I really want to show you is what I can see that you can't see is as that verdict is played, it is read in the courtroom. Look at what's happening in the courtroom as the verdict is read. It's happening that's what's happening behind Arias as the verdict is being read in court. The faces, look at this. The faces of everybody in that courtroom, Flores, his wife, his children, Travis's family, everyone. This is what happens in a court of law. The tears, the embraces, the sighs of relief, the cries of agony as people hear the verdict. That's what's happening that we could all see and you couldn't. I've been trying to get this to show you since the verdict was first read so you could see everybody's faces, their heart on their sleeve as the verdict comes down. Look at this. I recall as a prosecutor standing, I would be facing the jury and the judge, and the family of the victims would be behind me, and I could almost feel them as that verdict was read. That emotion that they have kept inside for so long. They're instructed over and over every day. Don't cry out, don't make a sound, don't show emotion, don't even give an expression to anybody on this jury. And finally, the verdict. Right now, Arias has been taken out of that court